Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here, and welcome to Mornings with 60 and Me. Today is Wednesday, it is July the 20th, and welcome to a sunny summer day here in Switzerland. I am back home after my working trip to France, and it's really lovely to be back in your own place and to be able to be here with you and share the news of the day and some stories that I think might be of value to keep us uplifted and keep some perspective in the world today. The news is so full of drama, breaking news all the time. It's just so intense. And I'm not going to cover the stories that you can pick up on your local channels, because I think that they're ongoing and everyone has access to them. So I'm going to try to do the highlights and then just as I said, a few things that I think might inspire us. So my morning tea, I had a long train journey yesterday, so this morning I decided to, I'm reflecting here, to do some turmeric tea. And I actually love turmeric in the evening normally, but this morning I've made myself a little cup, and it's very yellow, but it tastes delicious and it's extremely good for you. And many of you commented actually how you also use turmeric in your food and in your drink. So that's my morning drink. So how about you? What are you up to? What are you drinking today? So welcome to a new day. It's, of course, the news in the United States is dominated by the Republican convention. I mean, a year ago, we didn't know what was going to happen with Donald Trump as a candidate. He beat 16 opponents and got to be formally announced last night as the Republican candidate for the President of the United States. And, he was a political outsider, but he's now got a huge following, and it's going to be very interesting to see how things unfold. So that's the big news from the United States. I'm sure you all are aware of that. In terms of Europe, the Brexit momentum continues, and Theresa May is actually off to Europe this week. She's visiting Germany, Angela Merkel, and Francois Hollande, and they're going to be talking about this new world that they're all entering into with Britain, on the other side. So I think she's doing a good job so far. It's going to be a challenging, journey for her, but we'll wish her the best. Also, there's this economic fallout, of course, from the Brexit. The International Monetary Fund, the IMF, as it's called, they actually downgraded the world's economic forecast for 2017. And they said that it was really a significant part of it was because of the UK separation from EU, and that it just really did make the whole world's, the economies of the whole world more unstable and just a little more risky. So anyway, another cool thing is the Mayor of London. Interesting man. He just was voted in to replace Boris Johnson, who is now the Foreign Secretary. But he released a video yesterday, which is sort of a really fun, upbeat video with people opening their doors to their shops and their businesses, saying, London's open for business. And I just hope that this is a renewal for them, a transition that's positive. So that's that. On a little bit darker note, there was a train attack in Germany yesterday, or day before actually, and it was a young man. He's 17 years old. He attacked some people with an axe, and he was killed by the police, but fortunately there were no deaths on the people he attacked, but there are several in very serious conditions. So our hearts and my prayers go out to them as well, and hope that they recover well. It's a damaging story for Germany in so many levels, because of course he was a migrant who came to the country at the age of 15, and he obviously did this horrible attack on the train. In France, they have extended the state of emergency. It was about due to expire after all the horrible attacks last year, but because of the situation in Nice, it was decided to extend it. And Le Monde is a French newspaper, and I saw an article there, though, that was very beautiful about their recommendation was for people to read, that somehow the power of words could create an understanding in the world, and it could prioritize kindness and acceptance over this horrible battle that we seem to have going on between conflicting belief systems. So, and that leads to Turkey. And in Turkey right now, of course, the purge of officials has now extended to education. And the Prime Minister, or the President, sorry, has actually extended his arrests and clampdowns to educators. So that's professors, teachers. I think it's something like 15,000 educators and 20,000 teachers have been released of their duties. They no longer have jobs. And opponents are really reacting to this, of course, and saying, what kind of democracy is this where this kind of, control can happen? And also they're saying that, they want justice and not revenge. So I think the Turkish story has a lot more to be revealed, and we'll follow that news every day to update you. So let's see what else is going on. Oh, here's a really cool story. This is a feel-good story. This is a story from Canada and Perth, Ontario. Actually, I used to live in Canada, in North Bay, and then Toronto, Chatham, and Windsor. So I know that part of Ontario. Perth is there. But anyway, this is a really cool story. This little girl in camp wrote her grandmother a letter, and it just said, "To my grandma," and it had a post office box, like Route 33 or something, Perth, Ontario. And to grandma from Abby. And that was on the envelope. And of course, everybody's like, the postal service, it says they get these letters all the time, to Santa Claus, to someone. But this was really one that captured their hearts, so they decided to hunt it down. And so a very sweet lady, what was her name? Natasha Villeneuve. She was the postal official. She put it on Facebook and said, does anybody know a grandmother in Perth who's got a granddaughter called Abby? Oh, wonders of Facebook. 16,000 people signed up, tried to help. And of course, this grandmother does not have Facebook. So she was identified by a paramedic who had gone to her house in the past. And he reported to this lady, Natasha, that he knew who she was. And of course, the letter was delivered to the grandmother from Abby. I just think those kinds of stories just melt my heart, because they're really what the news should be about, about people doing good things and connecting family and friends. And I just think it's cool. So good on you, Canada, for having such a great postal service, or at least that lady. This is a kind of a cool story, just a little trivial royal story in case you follow this kind of thing in the UK. And that is Pippa Middleton, who is the sister of Catherine, Duchess of Cambridge, who's married to Prince William, in case you don't know these things. I don't know why I would expect you to, but anyway, Pippa Middleton, who had a big furor a few years ago when she was the bridesmaid or maid of honor at the wedding. But anyway, I won't go into details, but you probably know what I'm talking about. Anyway, she is getting married, and she's getting married to her banker lover, and his name is James Matthew. And so wish them well, happy marriage. I'm sure it's going to be quite spectacular. And I was going to ask you guys, are you going to any weddings this summer? Have you got any friends, family, children, nieces, nephews who are getting married? This is kind of the season, and I wondered if you've had that opportunity this summer. So those are my kind of feel-good stories. I also wanted to just remind you that something really special today, which we don't actually remind ourselves of too often, and that is today, July the 20th, was the day that we landed on the moon for the first time. And it's really quite amazing. When you think about it, since then there have been like 6 different trips, and we've made huge progress. But this was the first day when we actually set foot on the moon, and I think that was back in, I'm trying to remember the date. I think it was 1969 when Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong landed. I didn't write it down, but I think it was around 1969. And so I wondered if you actually had been conscious of that news when you were, when you're teens or 20s. And what was your, experience of that? What did you feel? How did you respond to it? It'd be really interesting to know. I think every now and again, the human race does something that's just incredible. we do something that's so out of the ordinary, so wonderfully positive. And I feel that was one of those moments that we should celebrate. So today is Moon Day. So go and get a chair, sit out on your porch, watch the moon tonight, and just imagine walking on the moon, what that would have been like. Anyway, so a couple of just quick reminders, and that's first of all to be sure to subscribe to this news channel so that you get the news updates first. You can just subscribe below the article. And then the other thing is to ask you a question. And I love these questions because yesterday we had a lot of responses to the one I asked, and it was just, to get conversation going and, just make us feel like we're a community that has something to say to one another. This is what's really cool. So my question today is simply, if you remember that date in 1969, what was your reaction to the first men walking on the moon? What did you feel? I'd love to have your experience of that. So have a great day, everyone. Have a great Wednesday. I hope you're doing something fun, and we'll see you again tomorrow for Mornings with 60 and Me. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.